process.
Is that kind of what where you just said a minute ago, on both sides of the aisle, they need to stop the rhetoric?
Yeah.
You think this whole process has gone way too fast?
Yes, and I am one of those who insisted we not have a vote on this health care reform bill before members of Congress have had a better chance to review the legislation in detail and to listen to our constituents. And I think the press and the public are an important part of the checks and balances of helping us look at this bill. So I said I would have voted no on any bill that was brought up, even if it had good provisions in it, before the August congressional recess was completed. And it was members such as I that were able to make it clear there wouldn't be the votes to pass the bill until there was more careful review.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you.
we all needed extra time. The public, the press, and members of Congress to review this bill.
I agree with that.
Yeah, because it was hitting us fast and hard too. You know, so.
Too fast.
Yeah.
Too fast. And a lot of us just said no.
Who was
If
it,
we're
Jonathan?
forced to vote no before we've had more time to review it and listen to our constituents and let the press and public be involved in this debate, we would vote no on the bill. So they counted the votes. If they had, believe me, if the leadership in the House had the votes to pass the bill before the August recess, they would have put it on the floor. It was those of us who said we would vote no without the additional time to consider the bill to stop it.
I think I'm good.
Congressman, thank you.
Thank you all
Sure.
for taking
Right.
the time out, and these are the kind of important discussions that I think are so important, not only on healthcare but other issues as well. And I'm looking forward to the weeks ahead where I can continue these kinds of discussions, and maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I'm hopeful that we can show the country that we can have heartfelt, honest, open public forums on healthcare without people attacking each other's integrity, character, or patriotism.
How do we stop that? Honestly, how do we stop it?
Ultimately, it has to be the American people. I think my personal belief is that both parties are guilty of pushing this the good guy versus the bad guy approach to politics. At the same time, I think structurally what's happened in the media is that we now have such segmented media that cable talk shows on television can make millions and millions of dollars if they just have 5% of the market share. So they can narrow their focus, unlike the old days of Walter Cronkite, where the three networks had to be reaching out to at least a third of the country or they would be losing money. These cable shows on radio and television can focus on 5% of the market share. So what's happening, those who want the conservative viewpoint can listen to Fox News and Rush Limbaugh. Those who want to hear the liberal viewpoint listen to Rachel Maddow and Keith Olbermann. So rather than daily getting a broad cross-section of views, what people are getting is views that are just reinforcing positions that they basically already have. And I think it's hardening the lines between Democrats and Republicans and between moderates, independents, and conservatives and liberals.
Do you think that opens up the floor for a third party to come up that's made of, because honestly the majority of Americans are in the middle. I mean, there's no hard right, no hard left.
Right.
The majority is in the middle. And are both parties missing that group?
I think right now both parties are missing a big part of that group. I think third parties historically have served a vital function in our country. When the two main parties, the Democrats and Republicans, get out of the mainstream, independent parties, third parties, raise their heads and force the majority party to broaden its base. And, but I tell you, despite all of the imperfections of our system and those of us who serve in it, I feel so blessed to live in a country that I still believe has the best democracy in the world. Our immigration problem isn't that people are trying to break out of America. They're trying to, cross the borders to come into our country. And I hope as we look at the sausage making of laws, which sometimes can be ugly, well, remember at the end of the day, we have a brilliant system of checks and balances, a majority rule tempered by the rights of minorities, of a system where not only the three branches of government, but the press and the public and the voter play a vital role in checks and balances. And we ought not to lose sight of the fact that we are still the greatest democracy and country in the world. And I feel blessed to be a very small part of that process.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.